Welcome to MMO Grinder's Sidequest, where I take a look at early open or closed betas, subscription trials, and simpler titles, giving you a quick first impression. Today I'll be looking at ArcheAge, a fantasy world MMO with plenty of unique features that have been grabbing the attention of MMO players and gamers alike. The game is currently in an invite-only closed beta, and seems to be undergoing constant tweaks, so remember that once again this is a first impressions video of something that's not nearly the point of being considered a final product. Let's see what's got people buzzing. The game goes for a very clean and crisp graphic style, but doesn't really stray far from the fantasy setting. Despite the world looking very nice and the lighting and shadows being top-notch, the use of CryEngine 3 seems randomly taxing to most computers. I've had no problem running the game once it started up, but the occasional issues of textures not loading or parts of the character model being invisible was pretty common when I loaded in. I found the music, like the title track and character creation track, to be really well done and wonderfully orchestrated, but once getting into the game, the music started to feel very repetitive in parts. A lot of players in chat would remark on just shutting it off, even from previous beta weekends. There's even a combat theme that seems a bit varied in deciding when it's time to play. The game also contains a bit of voice acting, but not really fully translated yet. While the cutscenes are all read out to you, various NPCs might speak to you in English or Korean. The starting character creator is actually very deep, allowing you to adjust things I didn't even know needed sliders. Trolls can rest easy knowing that they can make their character cross-eyed if they so desire. However, there is no control over the body type. While the game plays like many standard fantasy games with point-and-click combat, a few interesting tweaks, like comboed and repeatable skills, make the game feel a bit different from others, and make skill rotations all the more interesting. You choose from a class at the start, and can choose 2 more classes once hitting level 10 to create a custom class. For example, I started as a sorcerer, chose occultism at level 5, and oromancy at level 10, which assigned my class as a revenant. You can swap out those skill sets for a fee. Quests also run in pretty standard formula. One interesting twist is certain quests will allow you to turn that quest in early for less experience but the same rewards, or you can do more than the required amount for an extra progression or an overachievement boost, to gain a lot more XP. You gain a mount in a fairly unconventional way, by raising it from a baby, feeding and washing it until it grows large enough to ride. The raising of your mount doesn't stop there though, as your mount also gains levels, as long as it's out and following you around. Both as a mount and a pet is vulnerable to attack, and if defeated in battle becomes slower and remains at 1 HP until revived at a stable. The mount even gets attacks and abilities with certain levels. The crafting and life skills, which are what are garnering the most attention in this game, are vast and complex, letting you create even housing and farming on various plots in the game, and even create large boats that allow you to live as a pirate. The downside to all of this comes at the cost of labor points, a slowly regenerating point system that causes you to spend a certain number of points to perform these tasks. This is where a bit of the paywall comes in, or as some of my community members have told me, it's not so much pay to win as it is pay to do anything interesting. If you want to play the game as a kill things, move on to the next area MMO, you'll probably be fine. If you want to take advantage of what this game truly has to offer, it's going to take more. One interesting aspect of the game is the player-run trial system, which is somewhere between interesting and awful right now. It's in a separate chat channel and often filled with people screaming, "Max sentence!" just waiting for the Earl of Lemongrab to show up because it'd probably be right at home. Once players are sentenced, they end up in jail for a short amount of time depending on their charges. We're talking like minutes. You can already tell that there's going to be a paid versus free player divide among the community. Trial members were fully willing to let tried criminals go if their crime was stealing crops from free players, which is odd for a game marketing itself as a free-to-play. Elitism wherever you can get it, I suppose. ArcheAge is something that's being sold mostly on its potential, and to that end I agree. There's a lot of vast and interesting systems in place here that allow you to play in either a linear or a sandbox style, depending on what you prefer. However, beyond that, it's not bringing much new to the market in terms of setting, classes, or story. So if that's all you're looking for, you might want to see how this plays out before diving into a Founders Pack for yourself. This has been an MMO Grinder Sidequest, and it's time I logged out.